If everybody here decides they want to get involved in the campaign and they want to contribute $5, $10, get on the internet. I don't want to have to raise money in Hollywood all the time. I'd rather raise it right here in Austin.
Hollywood.
If all of you are willing to do that, then I'm absolutely confident we can make this happen. And if you have any doubts, let me just end with a quick story. When I was running for the U.S. Senate, nobody gave me a chance. I was running against a guy who spent $30 million in the race. I was running against another guy who had the support of all the Democratic machine in Illinois. And yet, you know, as we started campaigning, we started attracting some crowds, especially people who hadn't been involved in the process. And the conventional wisdom, the pundits were, that doesn't matter, let's face it. The guy, you know, he talks good, he's got good ideas, he's passed good laws, but a black guy named Barack Obama, they're not going to vote for him statewide. And the primary came and we won by 30 points. And then they said, well, he's not going to win the general election. And it was true, we hadn't campaigned much in some of the areas of the state of Illinois, and one of the areas we needed to spend more time in was in southern Illinois. And for those of you who don't know Illinois, southern Illinois is the South. It's closer to Little Rock or Memphis than Chicago. And people were especially skeptical that a black guy named Barack Obama could win in southern Illinois. But the senior senator from Illinois, Dick Durbin, he was from down south, and he said, come on, come with me. And he took me on a 39-day, or a 39-city, 5-day tour of southern Illinois. And we went to all kinds of little towns. We went to Hillsboro and Murfreesboro and Collinville and Fayetteville. We went to every hill and borough and ville in southern Illinois. And one of the places we went to was a place called Cairo, Illinois. And for those of you who don't know, Cairo, Illinois, back in the late 60s and early 70s, was the site of some of the worst racial violence of any place in the nation. As bad as anything going on in Mississippi or Alabama. I mean, there were cross burnings and an active white citizens council, and black people couldn't get jobs in this town. And ultimately there was civil unrest and the National Guard was called in. And as we're going down to Cairo, Durbin starts telling me that the first time he went down there was during this period. And he was a young lawyer then. He had been called in by the lieutenant governor to see what could be done to improve the racial climate there. So he goes down, takes the train, gets picked up at the depot, is driven by a volunteer to the motel where he's going to be staying. And before he gets out of the car, the volunteer says to him, listen, young man, whatever you do, don't use the telephone in your motel room. And he says, why not? He says, well, the members, the switchboard operator of the motel is a member of the White Citizens Council and will report on everything that you say. So this makes him a little nervous, but he goes ahead, he's got a job to do. He gets into his room, starts unpacking his bag. Suddenly, he hears a knock on the door. He opens up the door, there's a big guy standing there, mean-looking guy. Says, what the hell are you doing here? And now Durbin's really feeling nervous. And so am I, because he's telling me the story as we're pulling into Cairo. And so we're pulling in and we drive around the old county courthouse, and he's telling me more of these stories, and suddenly we come to a big parking lot. And there are about 300 people gathered there. And I don't know what they're doing there, but I noticed they're all of an age where they might have been active participants in what had been going on 30 years ago. But then as we get closer, I noticed that actually about a third of the group is black. And about 2/3 is white. And as we get closer still, I notice they're all wearing these little blue buttons that say Obama for U.S. Senate. And we get off the van, and they start handing us barbecue. And they start taking pictures and want autographs. And Durbin and I look at each other and we say, we didn't say anything, we knew what the other person was thinking. If you had asked Dick Durbin 30 years ago when he had first gone down there, that 30 years later, he'd be coming back, the son of Lithuanian immigrants, born in near poverty. Father died when he was young. Mother got cancer. Got scholarships his way up. If you had told him that he would be coming back as the senior United States Senator, and that he'd have with him a black guy, born in Hawaii, with a father from Kenya and a mother from Kansas, named Barack Obama, and that he was the nominee, nobody would have believed it. But it was happening. Which reminds me of what Dr. King said 2 weeks after Bloody Sunday. After the marchers had been turned back from the Edmund Pettus Bridge, beaten, tear gas, billy clubbed, they were feeling discouraged. Dr. Kim gathered them together in a church, and he said, remember, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. It bends towards justice. But here's the thing, Austin, it doesn't bend on its own. It bends because you bend it in the direction of justice. It's because each of us put our hand on that arc, and we say, we want universal health care for all Americans. Yes, we can. We want educational opportunity for all Americans. We're going to bend it in the direction of justice. We want an end to this war, and we want diplomacy and alliances and peace. Yes, we can. If all of us put our hand on that arc and bend it in the direction of justice, I am absolutely confident that we can create the kind of America that our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren deserve. Let's go, Austin. Let's get busy. Let's get to work. Thank you.